More than 125 people in Bakersfield will pile onto 4 buses Saturday. They'll be joining thousands of others in Los Angeles for the Women's March. Women met in downtown Bakersfield this afternoon to get ready for Saturday's historic march, painting signs and creating care bags for the people that'll be riding the bus to Los Angeles. The march, which is focused on human rights, civil liberties, and diversity, is calling for solidarity and for people to stand together and use their voice to be heard.
It's a march for women, women's rights, equality, diversity, and those are the issues probably that we're trying to call attention to and just say we don't want to go backward.
This is the very first time women from Bakersfield will be riding down together to join in the march in Los Angeles.
More than 100 local men and women joined the March for Women's Rights in Los Angeles today. 4 buses carrying protesters left this morning from Southwest Bakersfield to attend the march, many carrying signs, banners, and wearing custom shirts for the occasion. The organizer of the Women's March trip says, Kimberly Kirchmer says she wanted to join the march to empower herself and others.
The way that people are normalizing sexual assault, that was the line in the sand for me. And so it was really, really hard for me to support that. And it was hard for me when other people supported that like it was okay and excused it. So for me, that was the pivoting point, that I couldn't do that and I won't stand for it.
Bakersfield residents who attended the LA Women's March tell 23ABC that they wanted to be part of the movement to stand up for civil liberties and justice and to show the values that are important to them. And while dozens of Bakersfield residents marched in Los Angeles, men and women who couldn't make the trip gathered in the Southwest to protest for women's rights.
And so we all decided, why not do something local? Why not spread the word here in town so everybody can know? So I appreciated that we have one here more than everybody going to LA, because we're getting a lot more word out there to people in our hometown.
Organizers used social media to get the word out about the mini women's march meeting at the corner of Stockdale and California Avenue. Supporters say that having a local political protest was important, saying that not everyone in Kern County supports Donald Trump. Protesters say they did receive negative attention during their demonstration, from honking cars to having eggs thrown at them.
And across the nation, women are turning out in droves to protest the official start of Donald Trump's presidency. 17's Daniel Tran has more on one of those marches here in Bakersfield.
Women and men with signs packed the corner of California Avenue and Stockdale Highway as people participated in the Women's March a day after President Donald Trump was elected. Marchers proudly held up signs protesting President Trump or demanding everything from equal pay to reproductive rights. For some participants, the protest was more about the people around them than themselves.
I'm out here for equal rights for everybody. I don't speak Spanish, even though I'm Latina, but they deserve rights too. If they're here legally or illegally, they're still a human being, and they deserve rights like everyone else.
Some passing cars honked their horns while some people got out of their cars to lend their support.
I just drove by and, saw, a whole bunch of brothers and sisters speaking out and figured, I could help contribute to that.
Organizers say worldwide, 2.5 million people took part in marches today. According to the New York Daily News, the main women's march in Washington, D.C. brought an estimated 500,000 people to the streets of the nation's capital. Other protests in cities like Chicago and Los Angeles also drew huge crowds. Back here at home, the streets aren't flooded with protesters, but the message was the same: we will be heard.
I believe in justice for all, and we need to make sure that everyone's voices are heard.
That was Daniel Tran reporting.
And as thousands of women joined in unity around the world, dozens more rallied for equality here at home. Marchers in Bakersfield say they hope their message of peace and inclusion will echo throughout Kern County and beyond.
Dozens of women of all ages and all walks of life stood side by side while holding signs that read, "Women's rights are human rights," and "Fight like a girl." For a few hours, marchers walked from crosswalk to crosswalk around Southwest Bakersfield, hoping to let their voices be heard.
And it's really amazing how many people are doing this all over the place, and I think that it will show that people do want to be heard, and maybe it would make them aware that just take a minute and listen.
Across the nation, hundreds of thousands of women united for marches and peaceful protest to celebrate womanhood, while also voicing their concerns about gender equality and human rights. Cindy Barra found out about the Bakersfield Woman March while scrolling through her Facebook page. She says she's proud to be a part of something bigger than herself.
Our democracy is bigger than one person, and I think we're just here to be a voice for basic decency for human rights.